Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Mittens. I've been looking forward to this for a long while. I hope you guys are excited for this, the next part of our rogue playthrough on the Nostalrius Begins vanilla PvP server. It's going to be really good. As you can see, we start off here in Ashenvale. But, I was a bit overzealous. In the last episode, I ended up in Ashenvale at level 22. And, well, I did a few quests off camera. There were a few quests to do, but it became apparent pretty early on that this area is a little bit higher level. Maybe when I'm 24, 25, I'll come back here. But yeah, I did a little bit of quests. There was a bit of nice PvP going on in Ashenvale, which is also really good to see. It really does get that animosity between the Alliance and Horde going, which is exactly what you want. You really, really do want that. Whilst nobody wants to see the sort of gankings that you'll see later on in this video, what we really do like to see is a bit of animosity between the Horde and the Alliance. And the reason why that is because it breeds friendships, it breeds conflict, and it causes you to really, really get the most out of world PvP and out of the game, which is what vanilla was really pretty much about. So as you can see, we're about to leave Ashenvale. I had a few quests to get on with in Stonetalon and a couple in the Barrens still, and I thought, I'll just mop them up and see if I could get to level 24, because as I've said before to you guys, when we get to level 24, we'll be wanting to do these new dungeons, not just Shadowfang Keep, which I've spoken about quite a lot and I know you guys are looking forward to, but also possibly Blackfathom Deeps, which is a dungeon I haven't done in its old form in a long, long while, and I'm looking forward to both of those dungeons, especially SFK, because I really like the theme of it, and I know that you guys are really looking forward to it, and I hope to give you a treat with that one. As you can see right now, what I was doing was getting on with a quest, or a couple of quests that I had in Stonetalon. These were also pretty difficult, and I came back to these later on. One of them was called New Life, where I had to collect the Gaia seeds from earlier on and plant them in the Charred Vale, which is quite interesting. A bit of Tarren style druidism, which is really nice to see. As you can see, I'm panning the camera around quite a lot here, because if you watch my earlier videos, you'll know that, as I've said before, the Alliance are always waiting, and Stonetalon was pretty much a PvP heavy area. As you can see, I don't know if it's in this particular shot, but there were quite a lot of Alliance here, and later on it gets a little bit annoying in a sense, not because of the Alliance in the area, because most of them are just getting on with the questing as I am, and there's a little bit of equal level PvP, which is always nice. But also because later on there's a bit of a gang fest by a couple of high level guys, and we'll see that and I'll talk about it when we get there. But at the moment I'll explain these quests that I had to do. So I got a quest where I had to plant the seeds in the Charred Vale. It was a really nice vanilla style quest helping out a Tauren druidess. And whilst I was getting on with that, there was another one which was to kill these harpies, which as you can see I'm getting currency towards right there. I had to clear the Vale of harpies and plant the seeds. But in true vanilla fashion, these harpies are really tough, and they come in pretty much packs of about 4 or 5. It's pretty grim. They're about level 23, 24, some are 25, and when you get to the edge of the Vale, they're like level 27 or 28. Here, you can see what I was on about. This is what I said when you could see it in the shot before. A lot of weird tension going on between the Alliance and Horde. These Night Elf Druids, I don't know whether it's because we're in Kalimdor, and that's obviously a Night Elf leveling area, or what, but these Night Elf Druids, a lot of them, what I've seen, I don't know whether it's because Druids are maybe OP in PvP, but they're quite good. I've got to tip my hat off to some of these Alliance Druids I've seen so far. I'm sure that their Horde counterparts are just as good, if not better. Come on, Taurens. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice. There's a lot of corpses around, and that's why I'm in stealth right now. Just, make sure I don't want to die. As a rogue, I want to choose every encounter that I can get into. I want to be the person who chooses an encounter. I mean, there were a few occasions, I don't know if any of them are on film here, but there were a few occasions where I was killed, usually by people a few levels higher than me. But, that's part and parcel of the game, and it really did get me wanting to kill the Alliance, which is great, because when I'm level 60, that's precisely what I'll probably be doing in between my raids and stuff like that. But yeah, we're heading towards the Charred Vale right now, and this is a pretty dangerous area, I've got to say. Like, when you'll see it in a minute, some of these harpies go all the way up to like level 27, and they're like in the reds and stuff like that, because it's obviously near the border with Desolace. This is the path. The thing which makes Stonetalon such a breeding ground for PvP, I think, is that it's got one through road. You can see it right there. You have to go all the way from the Barrens up and then down to Desolace, and anybody travelling through, if you're travelling to any of the Razor Fens, if you're on the Alliance, or if you're travelling to the Desolace, you have to go through that little narrow pass and through the Charred Vale, and it's pretty difficult. Fortunately, this is a majority Horde zone, and so you can see there are usually a lot of Horde people around here, showcasing the community feel and the population of Nostalrius in such a great way. It is fantastic to be surrounded by so many people And indeed, I should say, to get all these whispers from my friends from YouTube, people who watch these videos, you guys might enjoy it. I'm not going to name any names. I don't want to make people feel a bit underloved if I don't say their name. So I won't say any names, but you know who you are if we've had a chat. Some of you might see your names in the whisper box later on as you see some of these clips. A lot of people asking me, are you recording right now? And usually when I'm online, I'm either recording or looking for something to record, but I enjoy every minute of it. Unlike when I was on Phoenix, right now I enjoy the server just for playing it and recording it as a bonus. One of the problems with Phoenix, of course, was the fact that the population was starting to decline, and also that most of the people playing had been level 60 for years and had really, really good gear. A few of my friends, well, a few people that I know, and a few commenters on this video and on my other videos were saying, should I play Kronos or should I play Phoenix? And I replied to those comments, but now I'll take the opportunity to reply orally, verbally. So, whilst I like the idea of there being one kind of really good server like Nostalrius or even Kronos, which I've heard is great, and from the research I've done seems pretty good, with a huge population, I think that it's really good to have this high level of competition and these different options out there, because that's what encourages people to create a better product. For too long, and you know what I'm talking about, for too long with private servers and vanilla, we've had very few options, and the options that we have had have been able to exploit the player base and be a bit lax and not have as high a standard and as good a work ethic. But now, because we have things like Nostalrius and Kronos, and the devs do such a good job, it's good to see that level of competition. It encourages people to be better. And also, you know, the population on Nostalrius can be up around over 6k some good days. I mean, the highest I've seen it has been 6.2k, and usually it's around 4.5 to 5k players, so really that's pretty good. I mean, you really wouldn't want it to be that much higher. I mean, everywhere I go and in all of these videos you've seen people running around and doing quests. So yeah, I'm really happy with the server, and I would encourage anybody wondering, should I play Kronos, should I play Nostalrius, try out both of them, see what you like, see what you feel good about, and just enjoy whichever one you play, because it all contributes to this great experience that we're all having, really. And just share your thoughts and feelings and share your experiences with me in the comment box. I really like to read what people get up to, and also help people out. You know, some people want to know what class they should play, asking me if certain things work. You know, I'm by no means an expert, but I'm happy to lend my ear and help you out as much as I can, because, you know, the more people we have happy playing on these servers and wanting to stick with them, the better the community will be. And really, so far, I've got to say, the community seems pretty good. On some of these servers, you can have a bit of a toxic community, and in everything apart from maybe PvP, which is to be expected and in a sense almost encouraged, the community seems really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed it. On another note, as you can see here, just how well clustered these harpies are. This, in a sense, reminds me of one of the other good points from Nostalrius, which is that there are other people around here questing, and that almost becomes necessary, because in vanilla, because of how difficult some of these mobs are, having other players around you to help kill the mobs kind of stops them from all aggroing on you, which can be really helpful, and it does save a lot of deaths, trust me. And of course, you can always group with people, and that helps a lot too. I will say right now, apologies, I've got a bit of a sniffle. I've been out with my cats and stuff, so got a bit of a hair thing going on. But yeah, right now we're in we're in the Barrens. And this was a quest that I thought I'd get on with, you know, a little bit lower level, and just thought I'd mop it up. And we had to kill these 3 Razormain. I think they're called Lock, Orcbane, Cruz, and I can't remember what the other guy's called, Naz or something like that. But here we are, we're going towards Lock. He can be found in this hut. I really like this quest. It was one of those quests that pretty easy to complete. A lot of people wanting to do it and have help with it, and it gave me a chance to get a little bit of grindy XP from these mobs. As you can see, I have loads, a metric shit ton, if you will, of rested XP that I can burn off, which is fantastic. Mainly comes in a sense as the strange positive byproduct of me having my laptop stolen, is that I was parked in an inn at the time when I logged out, which is fantastic. So I managed to have loads of rested XP, which means that I'm leveling pretty quickly, which is good for the playthrough, really, because I know you guys want to see a bit of continuity. You want to see me putting those talents in, getting those levels up, which is great. We're really near level 23 right now. We go all the way up to level 24, which is fantastic. So here is Locke. There's a few levels above us. They're going straight in. I think I put the evasion on. It's got a slight cooldown, but there we go. Put the evasion on, just get a few combo points. And right now that we've got Slice of Dice and Rupture on our hotbars, it's pretty simply a case of getting the ruptures up, getting the slice of dices up, and then eviscerating. It's pretty much what a normal rogue would do right now, and I really enjoy it. It's pretty active, but it's not too busy in the sense that I'm engaged in the combat and I'm active, but I don't feel overwhelmed, and I feel like I can concentrate on the encounter, which is great when I go into dungeons, and will be surely great when I get into Shadowfang Keep. So yeah, you can see me jumping up and down here. I was literally jumping for joy when I killed this guy. I don't know why. It felt like a bit of a success. Maybe that's just the vanilla feel of killing a mob higher level than you. I don't know what, but yeah. Then I had a look for some people to help me with the next guy, and of course this being Nostalrius and being vanilla and everyone being helpful, I found 2 guys who wanted to kill him also. So yeah, a good example of the community feel really working its magic right here in the Barrens. It's Knack, I think he's called. Yeah, Knack's skull there. And now I just have to find the 3rd guy, Cruz, who was a sort of mage, an ice mage, a cryomancer, I believe. And I was asking those guys if they knew where he was, but they'd already killed him, and they pointed somewhere to the sort of south of this location. And I went off to try and find him. Killing these Razormane Quillball was pretty helpful. It gave me a little bit of extra XP on top of what I already had. As you can see between the clips that I had before I managed to level up. The reason why I didn't include the clip with the level was just because it was a lot of running around and waiting for that Nat guy to respawn, because he'd just been killed by these 2 Tarren right before I arrived. So I kind of wanted to give him a few minutes to respawn. I didn't want you guys just to be waiting around watching me standing there doing a Forsaken sort of dance. But here we were. As you can see, I'm looking around trying to find where this Cruz guy is. One of the good and bad things of vanilla is obviously you don't have any particularly quest helping elements that were added by Blizzard. I mean, there are add-ons that I prefer to use. I don't prefer to use those kinds of add-ons. I like to just kind of get a little bit of the immersion. I mean, this is my first character. This is my first character, and these are parts of the Barrens, and these are zones such as Stonetalon and Ashenvale that I haven't particularly levelled in vanilla in ages. So it was nice to do it without any help and just find things as I wanted to and go along that way. But yeah, it does take a little bit of time to find some people sometimes, but in a minute I just turned around and happened to spy him. Just quickly got the recording going, just to make sure that nobody, yeah, there he is right in front of me. And I was worried that someone was going to tag him, so I just went straight up to him. And I thought, you know what, this guy might be a bit dangerous. Let's do it properly. Go straight into the stealth. I thought I'd go with the stealth Garrot. I obviously don't have any daggers right now, so there's no time for a backstab. Here we go. Garrot straight in. Goes off really nicely. I didn't expect it to. And at this point I realised that some of my key bindings hadn't been sorted out right. So I had to just be clicking on my kit, which is kind of annoying. I sorted it out straight after this though. And as you can see if you look in the chat box, I was there talking to a new friend of mine, someone who liked the channel. Thank you very much, Silly Nice, I believe. Thank you very much. I did what I said I didn't. I've already done it. I've started naming names. Just because it happened to be there, you know. If you guys happen to have your name in the whisper when it's there, you'll probably get a shout out too. But, it needs to be nice to find a bit of a chat. He's a good guy. But right now we're back in Stonetalon, and this was a really interesting quest, and I'm really glad that I recorded this because it went really smoothly, and it really did. It was a good example of exploration. It was a good example of working together with other people, and that just happening really smoothly, just like that, just finding a group and things going well. But it was also a really good example of vanilla style questing, really. It was good. Let me just rearrange myself. I'll tell you what, talking for 48 minutes, you guys, is pretty damn difficult. I've got to say, you know, I sound like I enjoy it. And I do, I really do enjoy it, but it really does require a bit of a drink. So I'm just going to take a drink of the old Tango, and I'll explain this quest that we're doing here. So, we're headed back to Windshear Crag, I believe. And what we had to do is, I knew that I had to turn in a quest to the goblin who's in his little house, the gank house as I like to call it, because there's always skeletons right outside it, and this time is no exception. But then I always seem to be a bit worried when I see people running back the way I've come from, because I always think that they're running away from Alliance, from experience. But yeah, the gank house was cleared this time, thankfully. And what this quest is that I have to kill a guy on top of the sort of water wheel, the little cabin at the top of the crag pool in Windshear Crag. and it was a pretty hard quest, but I had help from some friends who just happened to be doing the same thing, and I just thought, hey, you guys, do you want to help me out? They said yeah, and that's the magic of vanilla, that MMO feel. You feel more active in a server with half the population of a retail server.
Time is money,
And look,
friend.
you can see the skeletons in the gang house as expected. So I went into stealth because you never know who's around here. I've fortunately not been ganked in this house yet, but somebody has tried to gank me in this house before, Mage. I managed to have sprint up at the time, so evasion sprinted the fuck out of there because he was like 4 levels higher than me. But yeah, you know, it can happen. So I kept sprinting this whole time, and at this point I thought, you know what, I'm pretty much alright. So I come out of sprint, and that's where we've got to go right there. I'm pointing at it on the map. That's the crag pool. And I thought, you know, how am I going to get up here? And am I going to be able to do this quest without some help? It was just, you know, happenstance. There happened to be some people around there. But, you know, Windshield Crag is kind of full of people, Alliance and Horde. I've seen quite a bit of PvP there. As I said in the last video, Stonetalon is where it's at. I'm trying to avoid as many unnecessary mobs as possible, just because it really does annoy me when I'm trying to do a bit of filming and I've got to kill loads of spiders or loggers or whatever. It was nice being in Stonetalon, just being able to kill some mobs that were lower level than me for a change, I've got to say. Because when I've been in Ashenvale, and even to an extent in some parts of the Barrens, there have been a lot of mobs, and in Northern Stonetalon too, in the Chartvale, there were a lot of mobs who were higher level than me, and really I could kill so many so quickly, even if they're just a level or two behind me. But here's this guy, I saw him running in this direction, so you know, I thought I'd just message him. Be like, I just linked him the quest, and because I knew he was running in this direction, and I checked his level first, and I saw that he was level 24, 25 I think, and I thought, well, he's level 25, he's probably not doing the one to kill the shredders, and he's probably not doing the one to kill the loggers, and he was running in this direction anyway, so I thought, you know what, let's go with this guy. And it was good to have a hunter too, because obviously he could benefit from having the pet, which meant that we didn't have to tank all the same mobs at the same time. But as you can see here, I looked up and just saw where we were going, and it was really nice to get all the way up here. You know, in some parts of the world or in other games, they might just have this water wheel up there for show, but in Stonetalon, you go up there, you can go up there, look, it's really high up there, and you get to go up there and explore, which was really nice, because I can remember all the times, especially before this server, when I was playing when I was younger, and I'd go to Stonetalon, the few times that I did level here, I'd see that water tower and I'd think, oh, that's awesome, I'd really like to go there, but I never did. And then this time I got to go up and do the quest, and then jump down, and it was just really good. It was just a really good bit of exploration, the sort of thing you'd expect from an Elder Scrolls game, to be honest. So we were on our way. It's quite a trek, you have to go all the way up around the side of the cliffs, interestingly enough. And my friend here put on aspect of the cheetah, I think it is, in order to get away from me. Good to see a lot of people playing Tarren and a lot of people playing Trolls. I've got to say that when I watch these videos through again, I just think how many more people, you will see so many more Tarren and Troll players in private servers, vanilla private servers I should say, than you will in retail. And that's because, I don't know, as the player base change, well first of all, the Blood Elves. Everyone who plays a Blood Elves knows that the reason why they play a Blood Elf is because Blood Elves have the perfect body shape to make armor look good, you can make them look really fancy, and also they play loads and loads of classes. Classes like Hunters, all of the magic classes they're great with, they had great racials, and of course Paladins. They were the only class on the Horde that could play Paladins at the time, up until Cataclysm of course. Excuse my Facebook. I'm so bad. But yeah, I just went to turn it off right there. But anyway, yeah, so in vanilla though, of course, you don't have Blood Elves, you don't have those goddamn pandas, So you get a lot of people playing Tarren and Trolls, which is really nice, because that's what the Horde's about. The Horde's about these sort of bestial races and stuff like that, and I really like it. And of course, us Undead, you know. Undead have always been strong. Shout out to all my Forsaken bros and sisters out there. You know where it's at. I'm loving this hammer I've got as well, by the way. I'm loving this massive mace that I managed to get my hands on. It was really badass, just smacking people with it. I know it's strength, so it's not a particularly good weapon for me, but at the same time, it's fantastic. It's a great weapon to have. Yeah, so we managed to hook up with this priest. I think he's a priest. Might not be a priest. I don't know, whatever he is. This magic dude. This magic dude, this lovely Forsaken gentleman right here, was doing the same quest, and I just thought, you know what, I'll invite him, because why not, you know, he's just going to be getting XP that we could all share, and it'll make it easier to kill this guy. So, Hunter sends his pet straight out to the main guy. I finish off that mob and come down, get right behind the guy. This is one of the best things about having a hunter with you in a group like this. It's like having an extra person in the form of the pet. And he took the aggro this whole time, managed to get the kill here, take his arm, and I was worried. I didn't know how deep the water would be. I kind of wanted to explore this part of the water wheel, but I didn't. This guy says thanks, and he just leaps straight off the cliff like a total baller. Here he goes. And I thought, that's awesome, I'm going to. Boom, straight down. Into the water, into the drink, and that was really good. I did really enjoy that quest. I had a great time. It was streamlined, got some good XP from it. It showcased the fun of grouping with people and how practical it is. And it was a new quest that I'd never done before, so you learn something new every day, I guess. And after that, I think I went back to the Charred Vale. I think. Yes. So now we are level 23, and we're a little bit higher, a little bit stronger, and there's a little bit more, a few more Horde in the area, and also there aren't any Alliance here, or there weren't any Alliance here at the time that I could see, whereas when I was in there before, it was kind of full of Alliance, which was pretty annoying, because the Alliance love a little bit of a fight. I like it, I do like it, but when I'm questing, it does piss me off a bit, but it is good, overall it is good. So I thought I'd try and do some more of this quest, or at least get a little bit of contribution towards it. But these guys do hit really hard, these harpies. On the other hand though, the quest where I had to plant the seeds was relatively easy. There were loads of dirt piles around, which is when I had to click on to plant the seeds, and I got that completed relatively quickly. Yeah, so that's what they look like, and it's typical long casting time. I get a really cool staff, because I'm doing that sort of weird, Forsaken druidic magic, which is pretty damn weird. But yeah, the skeletons everywhere. It's fantastic, isn't it? But this is pretty much what I was doing, getting on with another quest. It's always nice to video quests where they're actually able to be completed in a relatively streamlined fashion, without too much stuff going on in the background, and without me having to take massive breaks. Which is kind of one of the reasons why I look forward to getting to level 25 or so I can start the questing in the Ashenvale and not feel like I have to leave all the time. At this point in time, I felt like it was almost like I had to go to Ratchet, get some quests done there, go to Crossroads, get some quests done there, then go back to Stonetalon, get some quests done there, and then I could go to Ashenvale. So, as you get a bit higher, you start to get into the next band of zones. I was kind of in the weird bit between 20 to 30 zones at this point, and now that I'm at that level, it should be a bit easier to get on with these quests, and it already became easier as this video progressed. I had to be a bit careful as well. I only noticed this as I got a little bit deeper into the Vale. But as you get closer to the border with Desolace, and you'll see when I click on these basilisks, is they are level 30. These basilisks are level 30. And there are harpies in this area that are level 28. And it's really weird how quickly it gets that big. Like when you get to the beginning of this Charred Vale, when you're at the northern entrance, the enemies are like level 23. And then as soon as you get to the end, they're level 30. The disparity in the mob quality in this area is drastic, and it is a really easy way to die. This is partly what I mean when I say that it's good that there are other people questing in the area, because they can clear out some of the harder mobs and allow me access to things like these dirt piles, which is fantastic, so I can do some of my lovely Forsaken Magics, which is what I'm getting on with right here. Now at this point I thought I would video this little path I found. I mean, most of you guys will know about it, and I knew about it myself when I played on Phoenix, because I did a bit of leveling in Stonetalon on that server. But there's a little path, a secret way that you can bypass half of going around Stonetalon. I only realised it when I came down here, and it was just good. I really wanted to show you it again, because it's that sort of thing that you get in vanilla, these hidden kind of routes and stuff, which can really make your journeys a bit easier. And I think I'll just let you guys watch that on our way back to Sunrock Retreat. It is, as always, good to see fellow Hordes and just Alliance as well, just questing in this area. It really does remind me that the server's populated, and there is nothing that spurs you on to level and to play on a private server more than having clear and present signs of other players in the area. It really does make you think that you can plan for endgame, and that there will be stuff to do when you get to those higher levels. It's great. Even just planning to do dungeons like I've been talking about, SFK and BFD, which was in my mind this whole time. It's great. When I played on Phoenix I could never really have that because, well, 12 times rates on Warsong and the population of Emerald Dream wasn't that high. But with this, it's really good to be able to feel like, oh, right, well, I'm aiming to get to level 24 in this episode, and then that way I can start heading towards Silverpine and looking for a group for SFK. It was really good because it almost breaks up the monotony of constant questing. You can break it up with a dungeon, get yourself some good loot, which will really help with the questing as well. And I think now, as you guys watch these playthroughs, when we get to these higher level zones out of the starting areas, you can start to see what I mean when I say that dungeoning really helped, not just for the sake of leveling, but also for getting gear that really did matter at that point in time. The game was enjoyable at more than just max level, and this is really apparent when you do these dungeons. Have a drink. I know what you guys are thinking. Why is he drinking Tango instead of Monster? I know, but I'm living back home in England at the moment. I'm not at university, so you know I had to lay my rock and roll hardcore lifestyle on the line for a little while. So this is the path that I was talking about, and it's pretty easy to miss, but it is a really good path. It really does bypass the whole journey that you have to go through around Merkfallen Lake and stuff. And it's also useful because there aren't that many people in this area. And you can see anybody coming your way from quite a distance, whereas when you go along the other path, there's loads of trees in the area, and there's also loads of mobs, so if you try to run away from people, chances are you're going to run into about 4 or 5 mobs, which can kill you also. There's nothing worse than running away from a guy who's trying to kill you, only to find yourself killed by a giant demon or spider. And as I get to this area, you'll see, get an absolutely fantastic view of Sunrock Retreat. Obviously another thing that Blizzard, they do plan these things, you know. Blizzard probably did this on purpose, so that if you came down here, you get a really nice vista. And I get to show you it here. It's just really lovely. And then I thought, you know what, I'll try and get down this way. You know, I'll save myself a little bit of journeying, because the path doesn't actually, well, the path does take you to Sunrock Retreat, but you can't go back up it to Sunrock Retreat. That's the weird thing. There's a way of getting down to Sunrock Retreat, and it's not this way, without taking any damage. But if you want to go back up this path, you have to kind of go around the entrance to Sunrock Retreat, which takes a little bit longer. So now I get the chance to hand in this quest, which is fantastic. And as you can see, bear this in mind, as you can see, there's a lot of people who are kind of running in random directions here. There was shame and they're running away. And I didn't notice this at the time. But this brings me on to what I'm about to talk about, and this is where this ganking occurred. And basically, there were two, well, they were skull for me, so they were at least level, well, they were higher than level 30, because I can see level 30s now. They must have been at least level 33 or above, and they killed the Wind Riders, so they were probably level 60s. And I hid here on this log, as you can see, and it was just these two Alliance, a Mage and a Rogue, I believe, and they were just killing all of these low-level players. And I've got to say, this is not on. This is not the PvP that I talk about. This is not the PvP that I enjoy and encourage. This is pure and simple ganking. This is disrupting the play for people who are low level, who are just trying to enjoy the content. I would not do this to Alliance, and I would condemn anyone who does it to Alliance. I condemn these guys for doing it to the Horde, because all this does is turn people off the server, and they don't deserve this. There is nothing fun or vanilla about just ganking low level people in their own base. It is not fun at all. The only good thing about this is that it was breeding a lot of hate for the opposite faction, and it meant that I that I really wanted to go and kill them when I got to higher level. But anyway, as you can see right here, it kind of pressured me out of Sunrock. I didn't get killed, thankfully, because I'm a rogue. Even at relatively close distances to a higher level guy, I can still stay hidden. But it meant that there was no real point sticking in Stonetalon. It was risky, and it was breaking up my continuity. So I thought, you know what? I'll go somewhere where I know that there'll be quests that I haven't done, a little bit lower level, and I can get on with them easily. And I decided to go to Hillsbrad. And this might be interesting for some people, because I really did slate Hillsbrad. I've said several times in this playthrough that I don't particularly like the zone, and also I played it through in my Shaman Let's Play on Phoenix WoW. I don't like Hillsbrad. I kind of find it a bit boring. It's kind of a mixture of the Forsaken and the humans, which is a bit dull for me. Compared to the other Forsaken zones, it's the most boring one in my opinion, but, big but, it does have South Shore and Tarren Mill, which everybody knows is really important to vanilla and to the experience of vanilla and the memories of vanilla. And Tarren Mill on this server, wait until I get there. I have to go on a bit of an adventure, a Hobbit style adventure to get to Tarren Mill. But when I arrive at Tarren Mill in this episode, you guys will be impressed. You will not be disappointed, and it will hopefully encourage those who haven't started playing on Nostalrius to give it a try, because Tarren Mill was like a little mini city. It was the town that it should be. It was full of people, and it was really good. It was good to see all those people in the area. People no doubt wanted to group up for things. Fantastic stuff. I almost wanted the Alliance to try and attack us, just so we could have that kind of siege-style battle going on, and you'll see that in a minute. But right now, I had the difficulty of actually trying to get there around all of these guys, these mobs, these bears and spiders. I could easily take one or two of them on, but if a load of them come at me at once, then fucked. But, you know, I stick to the tactic of, you know, keeping my periphery on and making sure that I hug the walls, trying to stay out of the path of as many mobs as possible. I thought it was worth recording this bit so that you guys could see the sort of, I don't know, the difficulties that you can have in vanilla trying to navigate through a zone. And also, you know, the journey that I had to go on just to get to Tarren Mill. And why this really does make the world feel larger, as I've said several times. In vanilla, the world feels larger, because up until level 40, you're just running around like this, getting stunned by bears. And at this point I thought, I'm dead. What the hell am I going to do? Spiders on all directions. There's the internment camp over there. I thought, the last thing that I need is an alliance to come up to me right now. And thankfully, that didn't happen in this zone. I made a good choice leaving Stonetalon to come here. But I managed to get away from one of them. And there's one right behind me there. But he backs off too, which is great. And at this point I was thinking, oh, so happy that I got away. Kind of halfway now between Tarren Mill and the entrance to Hillsbrad, and because we're getting north, because we're getting near Alterac, some of these mobs that we're encountering now were pretty high level, so I had to be careful here. I just really wanted to see those farms on the horizon. But yeah, gave myself a bit of a bandage. Yeah, and I had to go in stealth here because I saw this warrior running towards me and I thought, oh shit, he's going to charge. But thankfully, like a bro, I don't know if he could see me even here, even though I was in stealth. He was a level 60. I don't know if he could see me, but I went in stealth anyway and he went past all fine. I think a lot of people just want to get on with whatever they're doing. A lot of people are travelling towards Scarlet Monastery in this area. So I think they just want to make the journey there. They don't want to bring the wrath of the Horde down upon their heads. And vice versa with the Alliance, really. And it's good to see, really. It's good to see. I kind of have a bit of a policy whereby I don't normally attack people unless... I'm a bit of a rogue about it. I will only attack people if A, they're in my level bracket, and B, I'm in the mood for it. A lot of times I just want to level and I just want to be like, no dude, let's just let bygones be bygones. Let's all just get on with what we're doing without, you know, pressurising each other. But sometimes, you know, the lion's going to get killed, Red is dead. But unfortunately not too many of those occurrences so far in the playthrough, which is all good. keep checking my map because I'm like, where the fuck is Tarren? You know what I mean? I keep thinking, where the hell is Tarren? I should be approaching it by now, surely. It's weird how bigger a map seems when you're on foot. And I saw all these skeletons here, and I think I happened to see this skulled hunter skulled rogue in the distance with all these skeletons around here, and I'm like, nope, sprinting away from that. There's no way I want to get involved in that. You could see a bit of a Hillsbrad foothills style PvP going on clearly from all of these corpses that you could see in the area, which is good. It's really good. I can't wait to be level 60 and indulge in a bit of that myself. But here we are. I could see the farms on the horizon. I managed to get there safely, and there were loads of horde in this area, so I thought, yes, success. But I was thinking at this point in time, what is Tarren going to be like? Because I know when I was playing on Phoenix, Tarren at most had about 3 or 4 people in it. And that, I'm talking at most. There'd be times where I go to Tarren and you might see a couple of people there, but that'd be it. But I could tell from the way it seemed coming towards Tarren that it must be pretty good. It must be pretty good, because I mean there were loads of people just out in the fields there. So I thought, you know, this is kind of not make or break by any means, but this would be interesting to see, because Nostalrius hadn't disappointed me at this point with its population and its community feel. And I thought now would be a good opportunity to see whether we had the makings of a good Tarren South Shore encounter going on. So loads of skeletons in the area, probably alliance that have been chased in this area. But I just went straight to get the flight path. Obviously there was a couple of people around the flight path. And then I went into the town. It was also good to go to the town to get some quests. But I mean, look at this. This is fantastic. There were loads of people here. It was great. There were people inside the inns. There were people running about. It was great. This was a little bit later on. And look, there were even more people here. It was really, really, really good. I don't know whether it's because the undead were a really popular race. But also, as you can see, walking around here, there were trolls, there were orcs. Guy with a crazy-ass Stormwind hat going on there. And I thought, you know what, I'll just end this with a good Hillsbrad quest. A good quest that I can complete, because these are the lower level quests. They do at like level 21 or so. It'll be fairly easy. And this is the part of the ones where you're going to make all the different elixirs, because you know how much us undead like our elixirs and shit. Although we never seem to do anything with them, up until the Wrathgate, that is, spoilers. But this quest was basically just to kill some grey bears and get some grey bear tones and get some spider ichor. I didn't pick any other quests up either, because I knew that level 24 was where I wanted to do other things, and I was really just chilling in Hillsbrad to pass a bit of time and to get some experience so I could get up to level 24. And I thought, no, let's begin with this quest here. So I just decided to go out, and you'll see here, you're killing these grey bears, killing these spiders, getting the ichors, and getting on with a bit of skinning and leatherworking actually. I get my first heavy leather here, which is fantastic, because it just shows how far I've come. I'm not even level 25, I'm already getting heavy leather. I think I've got 190 skill in skinning by the end of this video. Fantastic stuff. And I'll let you just see a little bit of this footage and enjoy some Hillsbrad foothills questing without my shitty banter in the background. Huzzah for heavy leather! Bleh. You can see just how full my bags are getting at this point. I really needed to sell some stuff. I collected loads of the daggers from those Razormane Quillwar back in the Barrens when we were doing the quest to kill 3 of them, and I really need to sell them. But as for gold, I'm going quite well at the moment. I can afford all of the abilities that I've got. I don't get all of them, as I've said before. I like to have a bit of a gold reserve, because, you know, sometimes you never know when you need to repair things or whatever, and it's also just nice to have a bit of gold on you, rather than having none at all. So I need to empty my bags. I like to pick up as much scrap as I can, because it is a really good source of income, besides the leather working itself. I should probably start making some stuff and trying to auction it now that I think about it. But really taking advantage of my firearms. I have a gun at the moment, as you can see here, a massive fucking blunderbuss, which is awesome. And it's really good for pulling, really, really, really good. I'm kind of glad that I recorded this quest, because as I watch it back, and when I think about it, and you guys will probably agree, this kind of quest really does sum up a lot of what WoW is about, or what vanilla WoW is about, you know, go out, kill these things, gather this resource, then return. And it can be a bit tedious, but people talk about WoW as though all you did in the game, and all you do in the game is this, is just kill boar, kill bear, take tongue, hand in quest. And those of us who played any kind of WoW, but especially vanilla, we know differently. We know that is not the situation at all. We know there is PvP going on, we know there is really good dungeons going on, we know there is a really in-depth talent system, something that you're about to see a little bit more of when I dig here. We know there's loads of stuff, and I think that people who make that kind of assumption, why would you want to play vanilla again, it was just boring quests and a grind fest, haven't really played the game, or don't remember the game with as objective and with as clear and honest a view as it really does have. Yes, some of the questing was a bit old, and yes, some of it's outdated by modern standards, but I would say that the game was more deep and was more interesting in vanilla than it is in retail. And you know, people ask me, why do you not play as much retail WoW if you like WoW so much? And the answer is really, oh, well, my voice broke there. Sorry, it's because I've been talking for 40 minutes. The answer is really that retail is good, but they're trying to modernise a game which is classic and which is so good because of its old feel and because of the feel that was born out of the success of Warcraft and Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3. They're trying to modernise it, they're trying to change the game so that they can bring in an entirely new player base. And I know that I don't need to talk about this to most people, but it's just interesting to talk about why we play on these servers. And they brought in changes which have modernised the game to an extent, but have also alienated players like me, older players, players who remember this kind of content, players who remember this level of community, grouping up with people every 5 minutes to do a quest, feeling really into a dungeon and being in the dungeon for 2 hours, feeling like you needed to spend days preparing for a raid, stuff like that. They've alienated that kind of hardcore community who were really interested in the RPG elements of the game and the MMO elements in the game. And the game in retail isn't bad, and it's not what I would say worse, but it's different. And that's why you have players like me returning to things like this sort of vanilla content. And it's great that it's out there. So let's just enjoy it, and let's not listen to people who talk about vanilla as if all it was collect mob and this kind of thing. Because it's just simply not the case. There you go, you've had my story and my manifesto for why private servers and vanilla is fantastic. Look at this badass on his wolf in the corner. Salute, my friend, you look like an awesome dude. Of course, one thing that has persisted throughout WoW, even to this day, and is really interesting in vanilla, is that you can kill a bear, and for some reason, it won't drop his tongue. You know, as if a bear doesn't have a tongue. The funniest thing for me was if you kill Quillboar in the Barrens, there's a quest that you've got to do where you've got to get 60 tusks. And there's this thing where you can kill one and it won't drop a single tusk, even though you could quite clearly see they have at least 2 tusks on the model. And it's really, really annoying. But it's part and parcel of WoW really, and I guess you get used to it after a little while. You guys know that sort of charm that we're on about. The Rogue loves it, I love it, Mittens loves it, and you guys love these videos, and it's fantastic. We're all having a great time, and I love seeing you guys in game, and it's awesome stuff. Oh, by the way, if any of you are if anybody is interested in joining me for this channel and Keep Run in the next episode, please send me a whisper or an in-game mail. You know my character is Malevolous. I will be looking for a tank, I will be looking for a healer and a couple of DPS, I've only got one person who I've spoken with on YouTube who I think is interested in doing it with me, which is awesome stuff. And if anybody else would be interested in playing alongside me, maybe even getting a Skype call going or whatever, and recording this Shadowfang Keep run, you know, just send me a mail or whatever. It'll be fun times, we'll have a good time, and you know you'll enjoy it. And I'll be taking all the loot. Just joking, you know me. But yeah, it'll be awesome stuff. I'm really looking forward to that episode, which is why I take it to level 24 here. And we're about to see me hit level 24 in a couple of mobs time, which is great, because it means that I can put this next talent into the assassination tree. Still going with assassination, which is pretty interesting. I thought, as I said before, it was going to be a full combat style spec, but it's assassination that seems to have the good early game talents, and then I will build into combat with the more useful end game talents, such as the extreme dodge that I can get, 5% more dodge chance, the better offhand damage, chance to hit increased, things like this, which are really necessary if you want to be a good end game raider in vanilla WoW. Taking advantage here of the free skinning skill, because why not? Why not just increase it? Really easy to increase skinning, in my opinion, probably the easiest profession to level in the game. Maybe people could say herbalism or possibly even tailoring, but I'd say skinning. Because herbalism, it's kind of like mining, there are nodes, whereas skinning, you just skin the beasts that are necessarily there in large numbers for quests and stuff, which is fantastic. I think I spotted the lions over here in the corner. I'm just watching him out the corner of my eye because he's a few levels higher than me. But he starts to go away, which means I can get over there and finish this quest, which is awesome stuff. So I get over, and I know you are going to get shot, Mr. Bear. Boom. Here we are, I almost missed it there. As if you could miss that, And I knew exactly what I was going to go with here. It was going to go straight with this. I think it's Relentless Strikes, a great talent to do. What it basically means is that my finishing moves have a 20% chance, I think it is. I think it's 20% chance to restore 25 energy. Really useful talent. Really helps with the fluidity of the rogue style of play. It's awesome. But at this stage, I'm just returned to Tarren, and I've hit level 24. And fortunately, one of the good things about coming to Hillsbrad was that I'm quite close to Silver Pine, so I can just dip in there, see what dip my toes in the water, see what kind of feelings going on, see if people are interested in doing an SFK run and so forth. I'll give it a few days whilst I upload this video and whilst I wait for some responses before I do SFK, just to see if anybody is interested in taking me up on my offer to do a run with me. And then we will get on with that episode, which should be fantastic. But yeah, guys, my name has been Mittens. I really do, as ever, hope that you enjoy this series. I thank you so much for the support that I've gotten. It is really fantastic how much this has helped grow my channel and how much you guys enjoy it. I love making these videos and I really love playing in vanilla. And the sort of whispers that I get from people asking me how I'm doing and asking me if I'm recording really do help me want to continue doing it too. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you to my subscribers, and please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and like this video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment, I will reply to it. I love having a bit of discussion, and I will see you in the next video of whatever I make. Have a nice day.